Welcome back at it again. Two Headlight Headlines, your daily automotive news podcast. I'm your host Clayton, and I'm super excited to get into the news today. Before we get started, please check us out on Twitter at HlightHlines. Post an update every time a new episode goes live. Also check us out on YouTube at Headlight Headlines, where you can always find a video version of this podcast. We are going to get started today. Not a ton of news, but I found a few pretty interesting things to talk about today, just in general. Two main car updates and then three other discussion points about the automotive community at the moment. So we are going to start things off with the new Maserati Gran Turismo being revealed. So this is the new generation 2024 Gran Turismo, and it actually is a bit different than the outgoing model. So before it had a naturally aspirated V8, and now for the first time it has a twin turbo V6 and also an EV version, which is very interesting but very cool at the same time. So they haven't had the Gran Turismo since 2019, and that was a really old version. Like, that hadn't been updated in forever. This one is pretty subtly redesigned. I really like these wheels they've got on it. It looks a lot more up to date than the outgoing model, which was really struggling. The headlights look very cool and modern. Different than the other ones. The grille looks a little cooler. Say the Trident logo is 3D printed. And also they're saying the hood converges differently, and the taillights are different, which we can't really see in these pictures yet. And obviously, like I said before, it has two completely different engine options. So the last one was Ferrari built, and it was a 4.7 liter V8 with 454 horsepower. Now they have their own twin turbo 3 liter V6, which was on the MC20. This one is a little bit detuned compared to that, but it's still pretty good. It says it has 483 horsepower, and on the high performance version it makes up to 542 horsepower. So it's pulling a lot of power out of this twin turbo engine, and they're saying it's 3.9 seconds 0 to 62, and the Trofeo, which is the performance version, will be 3.5 seconds. And top speed is apparently 199 miles per hour on that Trofeo version. Dual wishbone suspension up front and a multi-link rear suspension. 20-inch front and 21-inch rear wheels, so a staggered setup. Brembo 6-piston brakes, and I think it looks really cool. Now we're going to talk about the EV version, which is pictured here. It looks very similar, couple just different design cues, obviously, because it's an EV. They're saying it'll have an 800-volt electrical architecture. It has a T-shaped battery that they designed that doesn't impact the size of the car, and it has an 83 kilowatt hour capacity. Not sure about the range yet, but they're claiming it'll be over 250, which is pretty good for a car like this. 3 motors, 1 for the front and 2 for the rear wheels, and a combined 750 horsepower from that, which is very cool. And they're saying they're estimating 2.7 seconds 0 to 62, which is crazy. They're saying in the inside it has a 12.2 digital gauge cluster and a 12.3 inch touchscreen, which is Android based, which is decent. And yeah, a lot of cool stuff from Maserati. No pricing yet, but they're saying that there also will be a drop top offered probably next year, and they're looking that it's going to start somewhere around $200,000 mark. So very cool to see Maserati finally updating this car. Um, and hopefully these ones are more successful than the outgoing one, because those had a lot of issues. So only time will tell. Hopefully we can get some pricing info on this soon. But really cool that especially cool that they're stepping into the EV market, and also having the twin turbo V6. Next up, we have another price update, this time on the Nissan Frontier. This is the second model year of the brand new Nissan Frontier midsize pickup truck. Um, Now it is starting at $29,190, which is about a $1,500 price bump. It started at $27,840 for the last model year, which is the new gen. Uh, Very cool, obviously. I don't think they're really having any updates for it. I love this Nissan Frontier. It's really cool, and I loved it when it came out, but it's already behind. It's already behind the new Colorado and the new Canyon that are coming out next year. It's like, I don't know. It sucks because it was such a good truck. I think it will still be popular though, um, because those trucks aren't out yet. The interior is nice. I think it will still sell, but I think the other ones will sell better. So obviously everything's going up in price a little bit, and the only new thing they're adding is the wireless CarPlay. So don't think it's really worth, to be honest, but it's a cool looking truck. Next up, we have a little just discussion point, I guess, about Toyota. So it's very interesting, Toyota's current standpoint on the market, because they only have one EV out there. Most of their competitors have at least two, three, maybe even more than that in some cases. And Toyota's kind of been hesitant to dive deep into the EV realm. They have a lot of money invested, but they're still doing so much hybrid, so much plug-in hybrid, and nobody else is still doing it on their level, which is interesting. And I think this is going to be difficult for Toyota in the long run, but they also probably will be okay just because of how they are as a company. The main issue comes with this: California obviously banning gas engines, and also New York is doing the same. We'll talk about that in the next story. But they're saying that once it's 2035, they want no new gas engine cars to be sold, which is crazy. And the fact that Toyota hasn't gone all the way into this is going to make that a little bit more difficult on them. But I think they'll be okay. And here's why. Here's why I think they'll be okay. I think Toyota is trying to get all the main bugs and problems out with their one EV right now. Because Toyota's known for reliability. They're known for being able to last forever. And if they can get all of the main issues with EVs out during their first vehicle, I think that can do a lot for them in the long run. Because some of these other companies that are just pumping out EVs as fast as they can, and their models, like new model EVs as fast as they can, they're going to have a lot more issues with them. So it could be a smart play, but it might make it a little difficult at times going into these bans that we're seeing on gas engines. Obviously, it's still a ways away. We still have 13 years till that goes into play. But it's going to be close. And I don't think Toyota will be the only one cutting it close. And then next up, building off the last story, we have New York joining California in the 100% zero emission sales by 2035. So there was a lot of controversy about this when it first came out, and I think a lot of it had to do with the understanding. People just thought gas vehicles were going to disappear and that you're going to have to destroy them all because they're terrible. No, that's not what this is saying. They're saying by 2035, they want all auto manufacturers to be producing and selling in the United States only EVs and zero emission vehicles. However that be hydrogen, EV, whatever other technology comes out by then. So California has already said this, and New York has jumped on the wagon with them, and they're saying by 2026 they want 35% of all sales to be zero emissions, and by 2030 68%, which is basically a third and 2/3, a little bit more than that, which is okay. It's going to be a little hard, I think, to actually get those figures. They might get close, but I don't think they'll get it exactly. But we'll see. Obviously, like we talked about, it's going to be difficult for some manufacturers, and it probably will instill a lot of issues in the automotive realm for a while. But I think we'll be okay. And then the last story for the day, we have a change to Facebook Marketplace. I know everybody loves Facebook Marketplace. I am constantly looking on there for cars that I cannot buy because I have no money. But a lot of times you will see these dealer ads on Facebook Marketplace, and they are getting rid of them, kind of. So private dealers will still be allowed to list on here, but like as far as like dealerships go, they're going to be forced to take all of their listings, or all of their listings will be deleted. And this is going to be by business accounts on Facebook. So if there's a business account that is listing cars or real estate in January of 2023, at the end of the month, they will all be deleted. All of the listings will be deleted, and business accounts will not be able to list these vehicles or real estate properties. I think this is a good thing, because the dealerships are always putting something ridiculous on Facebook. Always, this ad that they're showing here is ridiculous, but not just that, they're putting some ridiculous price on the vehicles that's above market by so much, or they're trying to sell you a piece of junk that isn't actually valued at how it should be. So I think this is good. Obviously, there's going to be less sales overall, or less listings, but I think it'll be okay. So no more listings from business pages on Facebook, January 30th, 2023. But that's going to wrap it up for the news today. I hope you all enjoyed what we've covered today, learned something, a thing or two. Let me know what you think on Twitter at HLines. If you follow us, you will see our tweets every time that we post a new episode. And also, if you subscribe on YouTube at Headlight Headlines, you can see the video version of this podcast. You can see me, and you can see exactly what we're talking about, see the pictures that we're talking about, and everything that goes along with that. But that's all I've got for y'all today. Have a great one. Stay safe out there, and I will see y'all in the next one.